Hey everybody, how's it going? Today, let's take an in-depth tour and test drive of the 2009 Smart Fortwo Passion Coupe. And this is going to be a full, in-depth tour of the Fortwo. We'll start it up, show the engine, get an exhaust clip and go over the performance data, take it on a quick test drive, and show you a bunch of the features on the interior as well as exterior. And today, I'm at my family's dealership, Car Connections Incorporated, in Reidsville, North Carolina. And so, without further ado, let's go ahead and start it up, let it run. It's a black exterior with black cloth interior. Ignition cylinder is down in the center console. Beautiful. It's got a very smooth power-assisted leather-wrapped steering wheel, 5-speed automated manual gearbox with manual gear selection down here, or by the steering wheel mounted paddle shifters. Now, in short, basically how the transmission works is that the vehicle actually has a clutch that's electronically activated as you transfer through the gears. So it gives it a little bit more of a hesitant shift characteristic than a normal vehicle in this class. It's quite quirky and pretty neat in my opinion. Like I said, we'll go over that a little bit more in the test drive portion and how it works. And let's go ahead and cut on the headlights, hazards, automatic windows, and let's go and check out the exterior, shall we? It comes standard with projector halogen headlamps, very slanted forward-facing design, and when it was introduced in 2008, it definitely departed from the traditional subcompact market designs. It was introduced into an already crowded marketplace, but offered consumers something different. A quirky, non-traditional design that was bound to be a hit. This particular one comes with the upgraded 15-inch aluminum alloy wheels, anti-lock brakes, stability control and traction control, with disc brakes in the front and drums in the rear. The Smart Fortwo is actually built by Mercedes-Benz, so naturally you'd expect it to be a pretty safe vehicle, and it actually is. It was awarded 4 out of 5 stars for frontal crash protection of the driver and 3 stars for passenger protection. In side impacts, the Smart was awarded a perfect 5 out of 5 stars. And with frontal and side crash testing done by the Insurance Institute for Highway Safety, it achieves their overall highest rating of good for both segments. Most of the exterior body is composite body paneling, such as the doors, the front, the back. This portion right here, running across the top and the bottom, is metal. And underneath all this body paneling and everything is a high-strength center core structure that basically is designed to keep its form and structural integrity upon collisions, basically protecting its occupants in sort of a high-strength bubble, so to speak. Your plexiglass sunroof, integrated third brake light with rear window wiper, integrated side fender vents for the rear-mounted engine, also, being that the engine is mounted in the rear, the vehicle also has a rear-wheel drive. And before we check out the interior, we'll check out the rear and the engine simultaneously, since it's rear mounted, of course. There's a little membrane button right there that you press to release that. And then there's two clips here and here that you really release at the same time, but I don't have two hands free. Little all-weather cargo shelf with hidden storage. You do have a pretty decent amount of rear space. But underneath here is where your engine is. Just undo this. And there you go. The Fortwo comes with a 1-liter dual overhead cam inline 3-cylinder engine. 12 valve with variable valve timing, produces 70 horsepower at 5,800 RPM and 68 foot-pounds of torque at 4,500 RPM. Like I said, it is rear-wheel drive with a McPherson strut front suspension and a solid axle rear suspension with front and rear stabilizer bars. And with around an 8.7 gallon fuel tank running on premium unleaded gas, it achieves an EPA estimated miles per gallon rating of 33 city, 41 highway. It isn't a fast car by no means. 0 to 60 time is around 14.1 seconds with a 90 mile an hour top speed. But in the lower gears, it is quite zippy and peppy with its lightweight design. I couldn't do it with two hands really, but you just place that cover back on, stick that little screw mechanism in, turn it in, and tighten it down. Packing cargo to the roof will yield about 12 cubic feet of cargo space, and visual height would be around 7 cubic feet or so. You also have a little cover that opens up in the front. It's released here by a couple clips. You just kind of lift it up. Houses your fluid reservoirs and access to the headlamps. As far as the inside, there's a huge amount of interior room that you really wouldn't expect from a car this size. You can definitely fit someone just 6 feet or over without too much effort. Mesh storage pockets, your power windows, power mirrors, power locks are located up on the dash, and you also have cloth padding on the doors. The seats are manual, like I'll talk about in a little bit. It does have side airbags. Floor mounted brake pedal. It's kind of a love it or hate it thing. It takes a little bit to get used to. And it does not have a tilt steering wheel. And let's go and see how she sounds. This have a little bit of a rev limiter. You can also get an optional analog clock and a tachometer that'll mount right on top of that center stack. Go ahead and shut her up. It's got an in-dash CD player, AM/FM stereo system, putting out 2 speakers through the doors. And with just only 2 speakers, you'd be surprised at how good the audio sound really is in the vehicle. Good amount of bass response. Take a look in the distance, try and see it all. Vehicle comes with a standard driver and passenger side airbag, as well as side curtain airbags. Interior illumination, manually dimming rear view mirror. Here's the plexiglass roof, shade. Parts of the dash, or most of it, is actually also wrapped in the same cloth material as the seats, going across here in the lower portion, as well as all of the upper portions of the dash. All of your climate control settings are located up here. Your fan speed, different zones, and front defrost, rear defrost, one-touch AC, and recycling. Your temperature is located over here. This vehicle also comes with heated seats, 2-stage for the driver and passenger, tire pressure monitoring system reset, your lock and unlock. Down below here, you have your 12-volt power outlet, 2 cup holders, your leather shift knob, long e-brake, and your seat recline is located here for both sides. Intermittent wipers, little driver information system, your mileage, temperature, clock, and digital fuel readout. Storage pockets going up into the dash. It's very nifty. We're going to shut her down. Now we're going to check out the rest of the vehicle, shall we? Manual passenger seat as well. It really is amazing how much room are in these vehicles. Putting this seat all the way back, I'm about 5'10". If I stretch my legs out, I'm still not touching the dash. Modest glove box. Definitely a neat little car. Awesome fuel economy and a non-traditional design with an overall design and concept that's just so quirky, you can't help but think it's pretty neat. And let's go and take it for a quick drive. Now when I start accelerating, you'll see the shift pause that I mentioned earlier in the video. Took me a little while to get used to it. Same thing with the floor-mounted brake pedal. But after driving it a while and looking it up on the internet, doing my research, things like that, it's kind of love it or hate it thing. A lot of people don't like it, but a lot of people think it's pretty neat. I'm one of the people that think it's pretty neat, of course. Basically, it gives you the feeling of driving a manual vehicle without actually having to fiddle with the clutch. And that little 3-cylinder engine has such a throaty note to it. But when you're driving it just very complacent, normal city, day-to-day driving, and you're not really horsing it around or anything, you don't really notice those shift pauses that much. It's only when you really start to bury the pedal. But really though, when it kicks into gear, it kicks in and goes. takes curves pretty well. Not a whole lot of body roll. And pretty good stopping power. And just shift into 5th gear. Like I said before, the interior is extremely spacious for such a small car, and being with such a short wheelbase, you'd expect it to ride like a little golf cart or something like that, but it's actually pretty good. Highway ride can be just a little bit choppy, but driving around in the city, it's pretty comparable to any other subcompact vehicles on the market. Now, a lot of people argue, basically, does this compete with other vehicles? Are other vehicles better? Are there better choices than the Smart? Yeah, there's several, but it really boils down to, what do you want in a vehicle? Do you want something that you think you can get more bang for your buck, or do you want something just to be different? The Smart, I think, in my opinion, is designed for people who want to be different and don't really care about any of that other stuff. I mean, you still get really good fuel economy. You get a lot of attention, whether you like that or not, really. But it's just a really neat, unique package. You don't see a whole lot of them everywhere. I mean, larger cities probably see a little bit more than where I live right now. But I'm the type of person that just likes to be different. And the Smart allows you to do that with saving gas and really not compromising on the practicality as far as just normal day-to-day chores go. Now we'll go ahead and take it on the highway real quick. Right now we're going about 70 miles an hour. Just 20 shy of its top speed. Wind noise is average. But the ride quality, especially if the road is good, just like any car really, it's not really that different. I mean, would I say that the ride is really choppy? No, but it's all a matter of opinion. Brakes are definitely really good on it. The manual shiftability also on the steering wheel, I mean, you can use it for increased sport or use it down on the shifter knob, but it really doesn't make that much of a difference in it drives. It might minimize the shift times just a little bit, but not a huge bunch. Definitely a fun little vehicle to drive. Even if you're not interested in purchasing the Smart, I suggest go at least test drive one, because it's definitely unique and unlike anything else out there. Well guys, I hope you enjoyed this in-depth tour on the 2009 Smart Fortwo Passion Coupe. Be sure to stay tuned next time. There's a lot more where that came from. Take care, everybody.